morning. Oh wow, I really like the big preview window. Good morning, Justin. I hope you're having a marvelous Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. I almost said Thursday. I guess I'm in a hurry to get this week over with. I've got a few projects that I need to work on this weekend, and I'm actually not super looking forward to it, but I just want it to be over with. So I guess in that way, I am trying to rush to the weekend. I hope you've had a good Wednesday, though, Justin. Although we'll get to it in detail during the check-in. This morning, it's street sweeping day. The street sweeper hasn't come though, which is funny because it was really windy the past few days, and I was expecting there to have to be a lot of cleanup. But there wasn't. I feel like maybe the landscapers came and cleaned it. As far as like weather, like no clouds at all. We got just. It was like this yesterday also, like once the day actually got started, just like straight blue sky, which I'm not super partial to. I don't love the super blue, but it's okay. It's okay. Like I think I prefer to have some type of cloud. I don't know. It gives the sky something. Gives the sky a little bit of dressing. Good morning, Pernetic. Good morning, Lindsay. Hope both of you are doing well. Mr. Blue Sky over here, says Justin. Yeah, no more overcast, I suppose. But it's still going to be a little, like, LA chilly, which is really just, like, decent, nice weather, like, low 70s, and pretty windy. And I'm going to be spending most of my day probably in Mid-City anyway, so I'll be in the thick of it. Good morning, Spectrum. I hope you're doing well. Low 70s is the dream, says Lindsay. Low 70s, yeah, it's solid. I like it. It's good walking weather, that's for sure. Low 70s is when I don't mind, like, walking, like, doing, like, the like, 2-hour walk to, like, downtown. Does it take me that long? It can. It can take about a couple hours, if I'm really being chill about it. Pernetic says cloudy and high 50 over here, so a little bit colder for you. I hope that you like that. That's something you particularly enjoy. The low 50s. You said high 50s? High 50s. High of 50, so ugh. Yeah, that's a little cold for me. To be walking around, at least without my good coat. It's wet as well. But no rain today, says Pernetic. Oh, I can't relate. It's super dry here all the time. Spectrum says 83 here. What? Interesting. What? Is it humid? Where are you? It's Florida. Oh, okay. So yeah, never mind. I forget sometimes. I forget that the United States has a Florida. I hope it's not too harsh. I mean, 83 sounds doable, but I mean, I'm no fan of humidity, so hopefully it's nice and it stays nice, if it is indeed nice. I liked it enough to buy a house here, I guess, as Pernetic, talking about wherever it is, a high of 50 in October. We can talk about that. We can talk about houses. We can talk about staying places and not wanting to get up and leave. It's cool here, I think. I'm indoors, says Zyber. As long as it's cool indoors, it's really cool here. But I mean, it's the earlies. It's the early hours. Seattle, says Pernetic. Oh, you like Seattle enough to buy a house there? Well, I like Seattle. I'm sure I've talked to you specifically about it before, but there's a lot that I like about Seattle. That city feels, on a personal level, Seattle feels like it's my speed. Seattle feels like it moves at my speed on a personal level. On like some other levels, maybe not, but whenever I'm in Seattle, I always have like a really chill time. It's in the 80s in the Panhandle, at least, says Alex. Wow. Is it the humidity that's doing it? Why is everybody warmer than me? 77 over here, says Cyber, which is a little bit closer to my temperature right now. My AC is set to 75 to give some perspective. Oh, okay. So you feel about how I feel too. Only my outside's 75 right now. However, you're a little bit further on in your day since you're on the East Coast, so I'm sure it's going to warm up a little bit out here as well. Anyways, welcome everybody. Thank you for being punctual and making it on in. This is episode 418 of Morning Medley. I'm gonna go ahead and start the medley and get some things out of the way. Wednesday's kind of like a chill day. Wednesday's a free day now, especially with like the new segment coming in on Thursday. So we should be able to end on time today. So I mean, even halfway through the check-in, if you guys want to talk about the possible raids, I'll hear them as early as possible. But I am going to do a proper medley today. I am going to do a medley roughly 30 minutes or more. So here's your forewarning for that. 81 and sunny here, Yahoo says Lindsay. I mean, I like that too. 81 is sick. 81's good, like... 81's also good walking weather. Like, all through the 80s, I'm pretty chill. Like, 80s is good walking weather. 70s is good walking weather. 60s is good walking weather with a coat. 50s is like, I'm getting on a train. I'm getting on a bus. I'm getting on something. I'm not walking around comfortably and happily in 50s. True, we have had longer sun today, says Spectrum. Oh. Interesting. 57, mostly cloudy here, says Leon. Liana, who lives in my state, actually, but just in a very northern bit of the state that's a little bit colder than it is for me. It was 70s this morning, so yeah, says Alex. Good point. Probably the time difference. Yeah, you're a little bit further along than I am. It's fine unless I'm driving in my car for a while. No AC. Yeah, like the AC in my car doesn't really work. The heater works great though, which doesn't really come in handy too often here in Los Angeles. Pernetic says, do you think about what you're going to play in the medley ahead of time, or do you just sort of freeform as it happens? Or maybe a bit of both. I kind of just freeform as it happens, unless somebody like says something specific or like requests a plant, and then I'll play like a plant theme. Oakland has been cooling off the last week or so, says Justin. I have a soft spot for Oakland. I really do like Oakland. Like, I like the neighborhoods of Oakland. I don't particularly care about downtown or like the city center of it. Thank you, Cyber. I don't necessarily care about the city center part of it, but I do like Oakland. I do like Oakland, like the residential and like the housing. The way the neighborhoods are set up in Oakland are really sick. To me, anyway. Like, if I was going to live in a place in the Bay, which I wouldn't, but if I was, Oakland, Berkeley area is sick. There's a particular... we can get into it in the check-in. That sound effect is much louder than everything else, says Spectrum. All the sound effects are. The reason for that is, Spectrum, is because like my mic's turned down a little bit, because once I start playing piano, the piano is pretty loud. And my only choices are having a slightly quiet dialogue and voice, and a appropriately volumed piano, or having my voice be as loud as the alerts, and then... Did you guys hear that? No, you probably didn't. Anyways, I don't want to blow up my mic. Liana says we're in the same area, Justin. Ooh. Oh yeah, both Bay people. Galaxis theme. Ooh, there you go. That's a Z redeem. Are you on there? Good morning, 604. That's 45 minutes. Oh, the sun. Sorry, everybody. That didn't fix anything. That didn't fix anything. There we go. That'll do it for now. Oh, I forgot. You don't have a redeem, do you? Let me try to catch up on chat. Is it possible? Probably not. I'm gonna try. Oh, there's something in my teeth. What is that? It's like a piece of a blueberry. Oh, this is impossible. Oh wait, never mind. No, it's not. I'm going for it. Umbe is awake. Good morning, Umbe. Hello, Constrana. Welcome to the stream and welcome to Morning Medley, episode 418. Hope you got good rest. Justin likes Agnes. I made 3 a.m. mac and cheese. My acid reflux is on blast, says a mustache goblin. I'm not a fan of mac and cheese. But I hope your acid reflux does okay. Is it reflex or reflux? Acid redux? Good morning, Silk Pear. If I didn't say good morning to you, I feel like I said it in my head. Thank you, Galaxius, for the fit compliment. I appreciate it. Try to wait for a good interlude moment, says Lindsay, for the Zia redeem. It's okay. It got up. She's up. She was in the bathroom all night last night. So that was good. She seems happy. The top front just sparked so much joy. Yeah, I think that's why it's doing the thing. I think it's because it was in the bathroom last night. I got plenty of nice humidity. I get a little bit crossfaded. Catch your vibe. Ooh, says Kwame. What are you singing? Zomo2. I saw your Instagram. I think. Or there's somebody with your same name on Instagram. Good morning. And thank you for being here. Also, guys, I can't say this enough. I love it when people have the same Instagram name and Twitter name and Twitch name. I love that consistency because I love it when like somebody's on Instagram and I recognize their username and I'm like, oh, that person was in a Twitch stream. That makes my life so much easier. Shaggy says, oh my god, almost perfect time to join in. My girl. Yeah, Shaggy likes Zia. Top of the morning, says Kwame. Good morning to you, Kwame. Justin says, my little chihuahua. Mickey says, good morning to everyone. That's a pretty sick name for a chihuahua. This is improv, says Galaxius. Some of it is, some of it isn't. Usually I'll play a song, and then I'll kind of just muddle around on the keyboard, making my way to another song. I would say the bridges in between the songs are improv, and the songs themselves are just interpretations of older works that I have. But if you don't know the work, it's hard to like draw the line between improv. And even honestly, me as a person playing it, a lot of times I'll like mess around with the actual songs. I try not to play the songs exactly the way they're supposed to be played, unless it's like something from Signals. Usually when I play Winter Heart or I play Love Letters or something, I'll try to play it exactly how it is on the EP, or at least the live version of it. But for a lot of the other songs, they can kind of change. They're a little foggy, a little messed up. Pumpkin, says Silk Pear. Because Lindsay says it's officially pumpkin break season, fellas. I wish I liked pumpkin. I'm not a big fan of pumpkin, so this fall season for the spices and the breads and the pastries and stuff, it doesn't really doesn't work for me. Is that from Groundhog's Day, says Spectrum? Yes, it is. One of the redeems is a scene from Groundhog's Day. Groundhog's Day? Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day. It's Groundhog Day. Groundhogs. Wow. Groundhog Day. Why does it sound wrong? Is it Groundhog's Day? Anyways, Alex says, I feel like I go into first-person camera mode and look straight into it. I'm about to appear in the wing cap stage. Oh my god, what? What? The sun likes this one as well, says Mustache. Did the sun come in right as I was playing? Dilly Dally. Constrano says Winter Heart always makes my mood go up. Constrano likes Winter Heart. Thank you for the follow, Quarter Demigod. Hey Peep, says Diz. Good morning, Diz. I hope you're doing well. Tinder says good morning, friendos, friendettes, and other folks. I like folks with an X. It's funny looking. It's funny looking. Whenever there's an X after a nether consonant, it's funny looking to me. Like Spanx, like NX is funny to me for some reason. I don't know why. Lurk for Kit. Thank you, Kit, for the lurk. This vanilla rendition. I don't even remember playing vanilla. Thank you for the follow, Alley Music AJ. Another musician, huh? I don't remember playing vanilla, but I believe you. I believe that it happened. Diz says local church has Undi collection. Why would I say that Undi? Local church has Undi collection on the message sign outside. Is that a thing? Absolutely, it's a thing. Just walked out front to find my car has been towed, says Justin. What? Out front of what? Where were you parked? I know that feeling. Oh, I know that feeling. That's happened to me so many times. And it's the thing is, it always happens to me when it's like, I swear I must have just missed the tow truck because I was only in the place for like maybe 30 minutes, and I feel like the amount of time it takes them to like call a tow truck. Anyways, point is, I'm really sorry to hear that, Justin. That's awful. Heavens, what a horrible feeling. Also, coming out of a place and your car has been stolen is a pretty awful feeling. I wish that on no one. Cyber says, OMG. Okay, so I mentioned it on stream before. A handful of people at my job, it's federal work, are mad that they must take the vaccination or leave the company. I mean, that sounds about right. By employee, says Diz. There was a guy who emailed the boss to ask him about it with some questions, and the president responded everyone on the entire site with a thanks for your comments. I suspect he was going to answer with a video or something, but it was just to put this guy's name on blast for the entire site. Aw. Oh, I hope that guy figures it out, I suppose. Figures out what they're going to do. I can tell he sent it by accident because there was a handful of requests to rescind the email, which is a thing you can do in Outlook. Whoa! People still use Outlook? I guess that makes sense. Outlook is so weird to me. Anyways, that's pretty fun.
Supposedly.
I hope everybody's okay. I hope everyone's okay. No one man should have had all that power, says Liana. Quoting, honestly, one of the last times I was super excited about Kanye. I remember that music video, like seeing the teaser for that music video and being like, wow, King Crimson? We're sampling King Crimson now? I'm on board. Alex Riggs says, and I'm disappointed I can't come to work in my underwear and play 80s hip-hop through the boombox, but unfortunately our employees are allowed to make decisions if it's going to be detrimental to everyone around you, to be selfish. Crazy, I know. Yeah, you got to make decisions for the people around you sometimes. I mean, if other people want to be safe and you're the one causing the ruckus. Honestly, I feel like Alex going to work in their underwear and playing 80s hip-hop is probably less harmful than possibly giving someone a virus. But I understand that also can't be, that also probably is against company policy. I just like the tone of the guy who sent the original video. They were told months ago to get a shot by the 15th or have a legitimate reason. The handful of people that are trying to use the religious exemption angle, and apparently were far too many people asking for that, so the job decided to not allow those cases. So this guy's response, putting air quotes around the science, has me rolling. Oh, you gotta love air quotes. You gotta love science, too. This is dang. This is dang. That reminds me, when we were doing the recital for high school graduation, the principal told a student that he wasn't gonna be graduating, but he was standing too close to the mic. That sucks. I don't like that. I would have laughed if I was there in person, but man, that sucks. That hurts. Alex says, listen, I trust science, but it's against my religion to trust this science. Tucker told me so. Tucker Carlson is such a name. Even if I didn't know anything about that dude and somebody was like, yeah, my friend Tucker Carlson, I'd have follow-up questions. Sareb says, man, what a wild ride. I honestly thought a lot of the anti-vaxxers in actual career positions would just shut up and take it when it came to a head, and I think the vast majority still are. I didn't think that. I, for one, did not think that. I'll get to what I think. Later, but I'm happy for the overwhelming majority of the people on the site are vaxxed by now, but we're not talking traditionally dumb people. These are engineers and science folk, says Cyber. So it always tickles me when you get such an indignant person writing a "let me talk to the manager" passive-aggressive email. For sure. For sure. Hey, what's up, Earthtone? Earthtone? Yeah. Hey, welcome back, Earthtone, by the way. I remember you from last time. And thank you for the claps, by the way, Tinder and Ika and Silk Pear. You got it in, baby. You got it in. I'm still trying to catch up. Acid reflux, says Tinder. Oh, it's not reflex. It's not redux. Mustache says I probably typed it wrong, but I was starving. Did you finally get something to eat? Oh, wait, you're starving was your excuse for eating the mac and cheese at 3 a.m. Hey, no judgment here. I've definitely put some wild things down the gullet after midnight. I was too late to grab my handle anywhere. Didn't care enough, says Liana. That's another type of way to be. Not caring enough is, like, kind of my whole thing. Not caring enough and committing to the bit those are the two, that's the dichotomy of me at this point. Ika says, oh, Ika's just agreeing with Lindsay. What did Lindsay say? Lindsay said, I'm still really salty about the period in my, Instagram name. I want consistency. Yeah. Consistency is key, right? Consistency is key. Ika says, I don't know who has my IG name, but you're a jerk. You've literally done nothing on there. I love that. I love it when people have the thing you want and they're doing nothing with it. They're just camping on really, really sick SEO. And I don't know. They might be dead. Galaxia says, Power J Z remix is better than the original. Lyrically, I mean, yeah, right? And when we're talking about rappers, aren't we always talking about lyrics? Okay, Alex says true. That's what I'm saying. I don't even know what we're agreeing with anymore, but I'm on board. Ika says that's a crime, Lindsay. What the heck? Oh, wait, is Lindsay's person also? There's even an account name. There's not even an account name, Lindsay Fort. I mean, Instagram, I'll get to the bottom and then I'll talk about SEO camping and why it's actually kind of broken. Because sometimes people will, like, the account will be deleted, but you still can't make an account with that name, and it's really annoying. Constrano says, Outlook is widely used in workplaces because it really integrates well in business. Like, you can link everything through it. In my company, I was put in an office, says Constrano, for a few months, and it was like magic. I just logged into my PC and boom, whole load of emails and coordinations and other annoying stuff was there waiting for me if I had spent days setting it up. As if I'd spent days setting it up in advance. We love integration. I just saw Ikagawa on IG. 2 followers and no icon even, says Lindsay. This is sad. This is bumming me out. Justin says, you are definitely helping calm my emotions, the upset emotions around my car being towed with your wonderful personality and delightful community. I'm glad the community's helping. I can't take too much responsibility for that. I was mostly just playing keyboard. But I hope you get your car back. And I want to talk about my car horror stories, actually. Justin makes me want to talk about my car horror stories. Car horror? English is such an interesting language. I'm alive, good morning, says Kiwi. Good morning, Kiwi. Leanna says good morning also to Kiwi. Wait, I made it to the bottom of the chat! I made it to the bottom of the chat! Okay. There never was an account with that name, says Lindsay, talking about IG. Thank you. Talking about IG not allowing Lindsay Ford as a name. That is interesting. We love IG here. We love Instagram here. Oh my god. Don't get me started on how much I love Instagram. Thank you for the lurk, Liana. Appreciate you. Wow, we're at 10 o'clock. Checking in with you. It's time to check in with me too. I'm fine, I'm checking in with you. Checking in. Ooh, thank you for the clap, Kiwi. Jelly, welcome back. Jelly says, I haven't been on IG in so long. One day I'll go back. You sound like me with Twitter. One day was like, I think a couple of weeks ago. I made a tweet on the Twitter site. Diz says, very tidy and concise job getting to the bottom. Thank you, Diz. Honestly, thank you. I'm trying. I'm really doing my best over here. No idea why I typed your name. Brain broken, says Kiwi. You probably typed my name because it's really easy to type. I love the way my name is to type on like a keyboard. Like, I like that. Are you guys looking at your keyboards? I like that O and I and N and M are right next to each other, so you kind of do this nice little roll. It's like a little DDR move to spell my name on a keyboard. O, M, and I. I kind of like it. Maybe that's why you typed it. It's just an easy thing to type. Mustache says, talk about car horror story. Told Soups about that yesterday. I have a lot of car horror stories. This is my third car. I have a 2006 Volkswagen Jetta. And so this is the third car that I've had. My first car ever was a Ford Escort, a 1995 Ford Escort. And that car, the key, the ignition thing, you could actually stick anything in there to turn it. It was like there was all kinds of problems with this car. Like within the steering column, I could actually stick my mail key, like the key that I would use to open my mailbox. I could stick the mail key into my ignition and start my car with it. You can kind of stick anything in there. Like it didn't have to like fit properly or anything. You could do it with a screwdriver, but that car was stolen several times. The first time it was stolen, I found it myself. Like, I mean, of course I did. I just found myself and it was just parked somewhere and I just kind of stole it back. I don't know who's stealing cars actually, by the way, in like Apache Junction and Queen Creek, Arizona, but I feel like they steal cars and then they don't leave the city. Like, it's like, imagine somebody stealing your bike and then the next day you go to get like, I don't know, a Whopper Jr. or something like that, and you just see your bike sitting in front of like some random store and you're like, oh, there he is. I guess I'll steal it back, reclaim it. I guess it's not stealing if I'm the original owner. Anyways, that happened with my Ford Escort one time. Very scary. Also, I totaled that car. I brought my best friend's car for a family birthday party. It literally went up in flames that night. Oh my god. Was your friend okay? Was your friend alright? Happened to my brother. I think it's just teenage joyrider morons. Yeah, Sareb. Yeah, same. I think that's what happened. But, I totaled that car. I got T-boned. I feel like, is the right terminology, I totaled it, or someone totaled me? Someone else totaled the car while I was inside of it? Anyways, you literally live in GTA San Andreas, so somebody stole my car. And then I later got T-boned pretty hard. They ran into the driver's side. I was driving and they ran into the driver's side and gave me a good smash-a-roozy. And I was like, super fine. Pretty cool, right? I was like, I couldn't get out of the car because like it was that banged up. But I mean, I don't know. Seatbelts are cool. I don't even know if that had anything to do with it. But I like got out of the car fine. I was basically walking. I was driving to get In-N-Out Burger. And I got T-boned, and we did the thing, like the whole like insurance thing, and the tow truck came because my car was undrivable, and the tow truck came and put my car on and like took it to wherever they take dead cars, and I walked the rest of the way to In-N-Out Burger, and I still ate, and then I just got a bus back home. And that's how I lost my first car. It was very sad. Mustache says, gave my sister a ride home, and her cig didn't go out the window. No one was hurt. Oh my god. That's horrible. You can just say that car got totaled. Yes, okay, thank you. That car got totaled and then towed. I kept the key from it, though, because I'm a sentimental man. I still have the key from my first car on my keyring. Which I guess is ironic, because you technically didn't need the key to start it anyway. Silk Pear says, I saw an accident on the 101 Sunday where a gas tank blew up on the car, and it looked so bad. Yeah, like seeing those cars that have been on fire for so long that they've kind of become partially melted is always kind of horrifying. Just a little bit. Hello, it's actually T. Welcome. Also, my connection is bad, so I don't know how much I'll be here. Honestly, my connection when I'm on, like, mobile is always bad. I always have to do, like, audio only. Like, anytime I've been in your guys' streams, when you see me commenting, half the time I can't see you if I'm on my phone, because it won't run properly on my phone. I have to run it just sound only. I'm on a computer. Yeesh. All right. I can at least relate to your internet woes. My connection's always pretty bad. Wi-Fi is the move, says Cyber. Wi-Fi is the move. I've never seen Wi-Fi like Korean Wi-Fi. Can we talk about Korean Wi-Fi for 2 seconds, and I'll go back to talking about car horrors? Wi-Fi in Arizona Wi-Fi in the States in general really feels like, you know what it feels like? It feels like being out on a really hot day. I'm talking like 105, 110, and you're just beelining it from shade to shade. Like you're walking over here because there's shade here. You're trying to park your car where there's shade. You're trying to be indoors. You're just kind of getting from shade to shade. You're trying to spend as little time in the sun as possible. That's what Wi-Fi feels like in the States. It just feels like there's Wi-Fi in this place. I'm afraid to move. I don't want to go over there because my internet might go away. Like, I'm not even joking. Don't shame my Wi-Fi. I'm not even joking, guys. When I was in Korea, why are there... Oh, I understand, because I shaved. Anyways, there was, like, Wi-Fi everywhere. Everything had Wi-Fi, and nothing had passwords. I was just walking, and my phone was just connecting to the most lightning fast Wi-Fi. It was amazing. It was wild. Silk Pear says true. It was wild. It was incredible. And, you know, in that moment, I thought, what's wrong with my country? I'm joking. Far before that, I asked myself that question. But in that moment, I was just like, so it's possible to have super fast, literal wireless internet everywhere in a city. Like, just on the streets. Like, I'm connecting to Wi-Fi sitting on the sidewalk. Like, I'm not in a building. Like, it's possible to have, like, just Wi-Fi in the city. Just everywhere, like fast stuff too, not like your public library Wi-Fi, but we just don't have it, and it's really sad. Anyways, that was my bit on Korean Wi-Fi. Back to car horrors. That's how I lost my first car. My second car was a Mercury Cougar, and a 2002 Mercury Cougar, I want to say? No, a 2000. A year 2000 Mercury Cougar. It was white, and it had the bucket seats. It was a coupe, had that hatchback. It was super nice. And that car just poured too much money into it. It got to a point where, like, the transmission finally went out. And they were like, oh, we can, like, get another slightly used transmission and put it in there. But honestly, like, you've already put so much money into this car, and, like, with the amount of miles that are on it, like, I would just ditch it. And I just ditched the car, and it, like, broke my heart. It broke my heart. It broke my heart a little bit. Like, just leaving that car, because it wasn't totaled or anything. I was, like, looking at it, like, look at you, you're fine. The paint's fine. The interior's great. But I just couldn't do it. I didn't play 418 yet, Cyber. I just couldn't do it. And so I just abandoned the car. And also I was getting ready to possibly move to California, and I was like, I'm probably going to have to live in my car. And if I live in my car, I'm going to want it to be able to at least drive. So I bought a 2006 Volkswagen Jetta, a used car. I've never bought a new car, just bought a third used car, and that's what I still drive today. And I did have to eventually put another transmission in it, so I'm definitely thousands of dollars sunk into this car of mine, but I am a little attached to it. It has issues every now and then where I'm just like, ugh, I am gonna have to give it up soon. Like, I don't know exactly what soon even means, but it is, you know, I am gonna have to give it up. Because 2006, like, what is that, 15 years old? Like, it's pretty old, and it's doing the things. It still drives great, but every now and then, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, I don't know how much time we got left together, baby. Constrano says, yeah, even atop the Nansan Park, the mountain in the middle of the city, there's Wi-Fi. It's wild. Constrano, thank you! Thank you! I thought I was talking to crickets. Anytime I talk about Korea, I feel like I'm talking to crickets, but thank you for knowing what I'm talking about. Yes. Even in, like, public parks, guys. Constrano's not lying. Even in parks, you can, like, walk into the forest, basically, in Korea, and you have Wi-Fi. And it's fast Wi-Fi, guys. It's faster than my mobile internet. It's faster than my plan. My data plan. Yeti says, hey, Omni, 2 more episodes until the fun number. What are we on? Oh, 420. Right. Oh, I haven't even have anything planned. Should I be planning something? Do you guys want to do a thing? Cyber 418 is called Soft Crystal. I'll allow you guys to imagine what that sounds like before I play it for a little while. All the Wi-Fi in Korea is not actually everywhere, but rather all of the touristic places. Ooh, I like the word touristic. Touristic places, so you might go and spend a few weeks thinking it's actually everywhere. It's still really impressive. It's really impressive, Constrano. It's really impressive. Honestly, that's like leagues ahead of even the touristic places here in the States. You go anywhere. I don't think the Statue of Liberty has Wi-Fi. That's embarrassing. The Yeti says, check in. I got my new Hobonichi in the mail today, which is an annual ritual. I used mine for journaling, poetry, remembering conversations, or the weather. A good meal and doodling. Lots of doodling, says Yeti. That's good. I'm happy when people can do that, you know. Kind of like scrapbooking or journaling. I journal as well. I don't really do it in a fancy Hobonichi way. I just do it in a bunch of composition notebooks. But I also like to write every day, just to kind of keep me connected to like myself. I don't know. That sounds so cheesy. Let me rephrase that because I don't want to sound like an idiot. I write every day because the way my life is, it's really easy for me personally to get into a work cycle where I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. And I'm not talking to people really. Like, even the stream, like, I know I'm, like, socially engaged in the stream. But my mind will eventually autopilot morning medley, and I'll delegate it to a specific part of my brain where it's not actually social activity. I just kind of get up here and go, and then I log off, and then I go work on music, and I'm putting on headphones. And then before I know it, like, 4 months has gone by. And so writing every day can, like, help me stay connected to, like, oh, this is a new day. I'm doing new things. Here's what I ate. My Wednesday and my Tuesday are different. My Wednesday and my Tuesday are different. My days are not broken up by just sleep. My days are broken up by actual events and feelings and interactions and emotions. Josh says, 420 production stream. Oh, snap. 420 production stream. Indeed. I want fast internet, says Lindsay. Everywhere. Park Wi-Fi, bless, says Yeti. Why did that make me laugh? I think it made me laugh because the combination with that and it's like flanked by those emotes. Umbe says netcode. Netcode in a lot of Asian countries-based games tend to suck for US players because they don't have terrible internet to worry about. We do. I do. I pay for it. Isn't that funny? I pay a lot of money for terrible internet. Justin says Oakland has Wi-Fi all over, but some places are a little low quality, but still. Free Oak Wi-Fi. I like Oak Wi-Fi. Can we call it Oak-Fi? I'm done for Oak-Fi. This says, internet connectivity should be treated like a utility, like gas or water. I had this conversation, with somebody on the train, and now I'm not talking like Gold Line, Red Line. I'm talking like Pacific Coast Line or line. So I was like talking to this person for like 2 hours about why internet is no longer a luxury. And I think that we as people in society see that happen a lot. You know, things start off as a luxury and then they slowly become so necessary to just like do things that it becomes a utility, right? Like the idea of having a cell phone, I think, was a huge luxury. I remember when I was a kid, like, people having cell phones was a huge deal. Like, doctors had cell phones, lawyers had cell phones, like, CEOs had cell phones. They had phones in their car. They had, like, car phones. But now it's like, if somebody doesn't have a phone, somebody doesn't have a smartphone or a cell phone of some kind, it's like, yo, there's a lot of the world you just can't engage with. Thank you, Kiwi. I see your dapper up. There's just a lot of the world you can't engage with. You kind of are living at, like, a disadvantage. I'll put it that way. So it becomes more of a utility than a luxury. I feel like internet is that too, Diz. I feel like at this point, like if you live in a house and there's no internet in your house, I'm not talking about scrolling Instagram or Twitter. I'm talking about just getting work done. Like there's been a lot of times where like my crappy internet has gone out and I've called Spectrum angry. Because I'm like, you don't understand. Like I need internet to work. Like the way I pay my bills is the internet. The way I pay you guys to give me internet is on the internet. Like I can't do this. And so, yeah, it's definitely more of a utility today. I feel that. Thank you for the lurk, Harry. I appreciate you. I pay so much for bad internet, says Silk Pear. I wish we had more trains, too. Our infrastructure is so old. It's sad. Silk Pear, where are you, by the way? If you don't mind me asking. Oh, well, yeah, my day is kind of mushed together a lot, says Kiwi. I would write. Writing helps. Writing helps break it up. A lot of people treat sleep like the breakup, or they treat, like, the restarting of the clock or the calendar as the breakup of their time, which I think is incredibly fallible. Dar. Oh, hi, Dar. Good morning to you. I might fall asleep. It's 2 a.m. in Korea. I'm always so impressed and pleased and honored, Harriet, that you spend as much time in the stream as you do, with it being such a wild time for you. Dar says, Omni, I used to be happy when you... Whoa, it's a big one. Oh, he's huge. Get out of here. Oh, he left. Okay. Anyways, sorry, Dar. There is like a horsefly in my room. He was a big one. Like a real chubby, juicy guy. Okay. Dar says, I used to be happy. Same. Anyways, Dar says, Omni, I used to be happy when you shave, but now you're doing this half and half combo and really muddles the symbolism of closed chapters of things in your life and whatnot. Dar, welcome to the real world. There's no real such thing as closure or closed chapters. Everything's really muddy. Everything's really muddy. Good morning, Dar, though, by the way. I hope you had a great rest last night. 604 says, need an open infrastructure fiber networks in the world. Creates competition and sometimes even honesty between ISPs. Keeps costs low, says 604. This I agree with. Berkeley, oh, whoa. Silk Pear lives in Berkeley, oh, whoa. I grew up in San Jose, though. Silk Pear, do you know Angelou's, the burrito place? This says, I would rather wait for a train once for 5 minutes than be stuck between two semi-trucks on the road for any amount of time. Amen, Diz. This is why I use my car very little here in LA. I tend to prefer using the subway and trains. If you live in a place that has subways and trains, use them. If you live in a place that doesn't have subway or trains, well, you live in the majority of the United States. It's sad, isn't it? Oh god, what is that? Says Lindsay. Are you talking about the horsefly that was in here? Kiwi says, yeah, I treat like events I plan as a breakup, but then I forget what I do the week before. I also used to take photos all the time, and now I take photos of my cat. I don't take photos of anything anymore. People are always asking me for photos of things, and I don't take them. I say I ate big meal. People say photos or it didn't happen. I say I guess it didn't happen. Dar says, Omni, it's your symbol. You can control that. I am controlling it. Did you see what I did, Dar? I shaved off the bottom. This is me taking control of my own symbolism. I'm sorry. If it used to make you happy, it doesn't anymore. I appreciate your nuanced understanding of the growth of your facial hair. Thank you. Lindsay says, really need to start journaling again because this past 18 months has been mushy. Yeah. Particularly in lockdown. Like, what are we even doing anymore? Galaxius says, I wish Miami had a sort of decent public transport. Honestly, Galaxius, it should. It should. There's no excuse. Miami's one of the big ones, right? New York, LA, Miami, Chicago, San Francisco, Seattle. Who am I missing? Nothing, because no other cities matter. Kid says, check in. Yesterday, I went to the pumpkin patch with Gwen. I saw the photo. Her mom and one of the partners, we got 46 pounds of pumpkins. My partner got 96. 96 pounds of pumpkins? How many pumpkins though? I've never heard this. I've never heard somebody refer to it just as the poundage. The poundage of pumpkins. I don't know that I've ever weighed a pumpkin. So I don't know how much an average pumpkin even weighs. Is 46 pounds? Uh-oh. I want to say a pumpkin weighs about, 15 pounds. I want to say an average, I want to say an average pumpkin. I have dumbbells over there that are 25 pounds, and I'm thinking, that's a heavy for a pumpkin. 25 pounds. Maybe 15 to 20 pounds is about a pumpkin. I got 6 pumpkins. That sounded like a cop, but I think it was just a crow. Oh, there's nothing out there. Sometimes the... I'm sorry. Sometimes the crows sound like cops. Guys, we've been in the check-in for a minute. Everybody... Some people are checking in. Some people are just, like... just rambling with me, which I appreciate, but I need your check-ins. I literally require them for sustenance. Kiwi says, like, when I go to LA or New York, my brain is so happy with all the different ways to get around. Yeah. Move to one of those cities, Kiwi. It's easy. It's really cheap and affordable. Phil's pumpkin man, says Silk Pear. I'm laughing at... I mean, I don't even know if that's funny, but I laughed at it. I like Phil's pumpkin man. I'm glad Seattle made the list, says Pernetic. Seattle's definitely on the list. You want to know how I make my list of the cities that matter in the United States? Also, this isn't meant to be offensive in any way. All the cities matter in the United States. This is mostly joke. This is joke. But the way I decide which cities matter in the United States is like the ones that even the short tours go to. Like when a band's going on tour, because I'm in the music industry, right? So when a band's going on tour and it's like, you'll play Roswell, right? And it's like, no, we're not going to freaking play Roswell. If you really want to see me, you got to drive to Albuquerque. And that's if I go to New Mexico. But, like, I feel like there's, like, a lot of the cities that, you know, kind of get skipped over when it comes to, like, major events or, like, major tours. And I feel like almost nobody's skipping over Miami. Like, no one's skipping over LA, New York, Seattle, or Chicago. I can throw in Denver. Can I? I don't want to. I'm not going to throw in Denver. I like Denver, but I don't know how much it... Broncos. Go Broncos, right? Cop, crow, what's the difference? They're all bird-brained. The reason, Cyber, is because... You know that weird sound that cop cars make when they honk, but it's like a... Like that thing? The crows, a lot of the... Because you know how crows just like... Never mind. Crows and ravens, they do the thing where they sound like the thing they hear. They do the cop sound a lot, and it scares me. Crows are really scary. I wonder if they know it scares me, and that's why they do it. I think he ended up being 9 or 10, says Kit. They sell them by the pound. They sell pumpkins by the pound. I think he ended up getting 9 or 10. That's a lot of pumpkin. Guys, never mind. I'll bring it up later. I need to get to the bottom of the chat because the chat started going again. I low-key want to be one of those pumpkin patch photo people. What does that mean? Why do you only lie to me, says Kiwi. I don't know. It's fun, I guess. I think... Oh, I can talk about it. I can actually talk about it. I think if I said... Kiwi, don't move to New York or LA. They're too expensive. That sounds really discouraging, right? But if I said, Kiwi, move to LA or New York, that's not funny. It's funnier for me if I say move to LA or New York because they're really affordable, because you know they aren't. However, if you didn't know that they cost a lot and I said that, then it would seem just more mean-spirited. Lindsay says all cities do not matter. All cities do not matter. All cities do not matter. You know what city matters the most? I really got to go to Vancouver, man. I feel like there's something for me there. I feel like I'm going to go to Vancouver and it's going to change everything for me. I wanted to move to Seattle, but I think I'm too poor for that. Kiwi, we're all too poor for everything. This is, by the way, this is sound 418. But I feel you on being too poor for Seattle. When I was getting ready to move to LA, I was like, I'm too poor for that. And so I came here and I lived in the place I could afford. I lived in a place that I could afford. Cyber says check in. I was going to play Back for Blood yesterday. I was going to play Back for Blood yesterday, but I had to go to an event with my wife from 4 to 9. Sounds like a full-time event. And so I got home really exhausted in a foggy state of mind. Sounds good. So instead of trying to play a new game and focus, I just hopped on Apex because I felt like that was going to be easy, quote-unquote, game to play. But obviously that was a mistake because I did horribly. Honestly, those were some pretty fun rounds, Cyber. I had a good time. At the end of the day, you have a good time. That's all that matters. You have a good time. Sareb says, nah, nobody cares about Danbury. I didn't even know it existed, so I don't know that I can disagree with you on this. What happens in Danbury, Sareb? Why won't you play Santa Cruz? Says Silk Pear. Honestly, Silk Pear? Hold on. Honestly, Silk Pear? I remember your dapper up, by the way, Kiwi. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. I'm gonna get to the bottom of the dapper up. Why won't you play Santa Cruz? Silk Pear, if I got booked to play Santa Cruz, I would be so happy. I would play Santa Cruz for... No, this is gonna get saved and go up online somewhere. I would play Santa Cruz for less money than I would play some other, like, kind of boring cities. Wow. Vague. Cyber says, I still had fun with the homies, but man, I was not happy with my performance. I like the sentence, I wasn't happy with my performance, because I say that sometimes in Knockout City. I was playing Knockout City yesterday, and it was like, sometimes we were winning. And I kind of turned into that person where I was just like, yeah, we won, but I feel like I could have done better out there. I feel like I could have really been more of an asset to my team. Umbe says, check in 2 days to graduation. Whoa. Hoping my life doesn't spiral out of control in the next few months. That'd be lovely. I hope the same for you, Umbe. Honestly, graduation was like a horrible time for me. And whenever I talk to people, it seems to be like this really like divisive thing where graduation is either like the best, most liberating time of your life, or graduation is like the worst, most alienating and depressing time in people's lives. Or I guess there's probably some people that are just completely indifferent. I haven't met those people though. Are some of those here? Was anybody very indifferent and like not sad or happy when they graduated here? Bernetic says, I feel like Denver is always on the list. Denver is pretty sick. I love that city. I also love that airport. Galaxia says, I feel like Miami might get skipped more often than other big ones because it's so far out of the way. It is pretty far out of the way. It used to be poppin'. I feel like Miami is not as poppin' as it used to be. It definitely... I feel like... No. Nope, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to have that conversation. It's actually T says, I had some work to do. So... have a good day. Goodbye, actually, T. I hope you get that work done. Dar's check-in is surprisingly short today. Dar's check-in is, my week was so busy, I'm so tired. Readjusting my life so often is hard. I like the little flanking marks on hard. I feel you, though, Dar. Honestly, Dar. Sometimes I feel like I'm constantly doing things and not managing. It's like being in the kitchen and you're always cooking... But you're always cooking, cleaning, but you're never, like, organizing. You ever get into that thing where it's just, like, I'm never, like, opening my cabinets going, does this need to be here? Or shouldn't I, like, move some stuff around? Maybe I should clean out the fridge instead of just constantly buying things, putting them in the fridge, taking them out, cooking them, putting things in and take it. Like, I feel you on that. I know we're not talking about, you know, kitchen cleanliness, but I feel you on, like... just having to readjust and never really quite getting comfortable and finding your bearings. I hope you get to find them soon, Dar. Are you sure it's crows and not all those parrots? The parrots in LA only scream. They seem to only know how to scream. They don't really mimic sounds. I don't know if it's just the specific breed or if it's that they don't care, but they just scream. That's the only sound they know how to make. Dar says crows probably know they scare you. They have the capacity for awareness. Same. The pumpkin patch photos with the people in the patch. You're some sort of clown guy. Oh, like the people that dress up like scarecrows and like Raggedy Andy dolls. You want to be one of those? No, I could actually see it. Silk Pear says check-in. Oh, whoa. That's gonna not make me laugh one day. I look forward to that day when that doesn't make me laugh. Check in, oh, whoa. Midterms are here, and I'm procrastinating hard and trying to get it I'm trying to garner motivation to work out before doing all that stuff. But it's hard that sometimes, you know how it is. Honestly, transparency, Silk Pear, I haven't worked out this week. It's Wednesday, and I haven't worked out once this week. It's embarrassing, and I've just been getting too caught up in everything else. But I do know how it is. I hope you can find the motivation to work out soon, because, I mean, even me. Crows probably, says Dar, also think it means something that it doesn't, and will make it sound to communicate some completely different idea. I love that. Dar, I love the concept of that, because I love language, and I love talking about language, and even me, as a kid, I used to say things that, you know, I would hear around me, because I thought I was communicating an idea and I was just getting it completely mixed up. And I do it in foreign languages all the time. Like I'll see two people say something to each other a lot, and I'm like, oh, I think that's a cool thing to say. He says it, and she laughed, so maybe if I say it, she'll laugh, and I'll say it, and then everybody's really quiet, and I'm like, oh, I guess it doesn't mean what I thought it meant. Maybe that's what the crows are doing. Humans are inside because no one wants to be around cops. Maybe that's why the crows are making the cop sound. Seattle is one of the most expensive places to live in the U.S. Yes, baby, yes. Yes, baby, yes. Seattle, San Francisco, they're really doing it up for us. They're really doing it up for all of us. I think a lot of this has to... I think a lot of the fact that San Francisco and Seattle are so expensive, I mean, obviously because of all the tech stuff and everything else that's happening there, I also think a thing that contributes to it is how congested the cities are. I think LA is extremely expensive, but it's so big that you can get out of a lot of those super expensive pockets while still remaining in Los Angeles. Like, I live in LA, but I don't live in, like, Hollywood or, like, Santa Monica or something like that. I don't live in, like, the super expensive hubs. You can kind of get out of those. You can, like, drive 10 miles, 12 miles in one direction and still be within the city, but maybe lower the cost of living a little bit. I think that helps. I think that's one of the only things that kind of helps LA be, quote-unquote, affordable, or rather, more affordable than a place like Seattle. I love Santa Cruz to visit, says Soakbear. I can agree with that. I bought a Santa Cruz shirt when I was there. I haven't forgotten about your Dapper Up, Kiwi. I'm getting there. I promise. Now that my PC is fixed, I gotta get in some rounds with y'all at some point, says Umbe, talking about playing Apex. I'm down. I want to book you at a brewery up here in the East Bay. East Bay? East Bay? That's the only good bay, am I right? Am I right, Bayheads? Where's Liana? I think Liana's lurking. Never mind. I know I'm right. Kiwi says, oh, I'm checking. Yesterday I worked on some drawing finally. Then my cat is doing better both yesterday and today, so I'm feeling a lot better mentally. Also, playing some games last night helped a lot too. I'm feeling pretty good about today. I'm glad you're feeling better. Heading out, getting food soon, says Diz. Enjoy your food, Diz, and thank you so much for spending some time with us. As far as you feeling a little bit better and your cat doing better, Kiwi, that makes me happy to hear. I know... What is that? Who is that? I can't see through my blinds, but I can hear something. What was it? It's gone. It's out of my peripheral now. Anyways, I know how that can be when something relies on you and that thing is sick, whether it's an animal or it's a person or it's a career. That can be very stressful and it makes it really hard to focus on anything, including work. So I'm glad that you're feeling a little bit better about that now. Galaxia says, I got to drive out to Atlanta and Orlando for a lot of shows. Sag. I feel you for that, Galaxius. I used to live in Arizona and not even in like Phoenix. So I used to have to drive, for a lot of shows if I wanted to see a band. So I feel you on that. It no longer is a thing that I have to do, fortunately, but I definitely know that life. But sometimes that can be cool. It can be cool to like... You're going to a show, but also you're going into a different city, and that can like sometimes add to the event of going to a show. For me, like driving into Phoenix was also like, ooh, I'm get to go into the city. What are some other things I want to do while I'm there? Whereas now, when a band comes to town, sometimes I don't even get dressed up real nice. I kind of just scoot on out, and then I stand in the back of the crowd so nobody bothers me. Umbe says, my school sucked, so I'm very indifferent about graduating. It'll only be a positive if it pays off down the road, which it should. Yeah, I should say all graduations should pay off down the road. Check-in for a Jelly Star is I was off yesterday, so I made shortbread cookies. I forgot to have the recipe and made 40. I forgot to have the recipe and made 40. Honestly, too much cookies is not those are good problems. Those are good problems. These are good problems to have. Silk Pear says, my friends say the same thing about the OO, but they still laugh. Yeah. Still gets me every now and then. Kiwi says, I actually really enjoy those fancy photos where you dress up and they put a backdrop. Then you blow it up real big and put it in your living room. I've always wanted those. Well, it's a really easy thing to get. My family did some. They're not very expensive, Kiwi. My family did them in a Kmart, of all places. That Kmart no longer exists. Lindsay says, check it. I mean, maybe it was cheap because it was at Kmart? I didn't think about that part of it. Lindsay says, check in, got my errands done, bought boba for me and my friend, and took her to the house. And took her house. And took it to her house. Sorry. And took her to her house and planned on streaming, but I got an awful headache, so I couldn't. But the headache eventually got a little better, so I created some sound commands and had so much fun with that. Got cleaning to do today, but I will stream tonight, manifesting no headaches. This sounds good. More power to you, and I hope the headaches don't come. Thank you, Connor, for the follow. Sorry, I'm just now getting to it. I've been bumped up on chat. And I'm still trying to catch up. Ooh-wee, ooh-wah. Tender says, I'm trying to find affordable housing closer to work, but I work in Brentwood. You work in Brentwood? I think you told me this. Sorry, I think you told me this. I was in Tender, I was in Brentwood with Aang, actually. Monday. Tender, you know Aang. Me and Aang were in Brentwood. We got some food up there. Yeah, wild place to find, wild place to live. Cool place to work. Tinder says check in, although I'm still worried about getting my hours cut at work. The extra downtime means I can tune into the morning medleys again. Well, it's really nice to have you, and I hope everything pans out with work. Can we talk about Brentwood for a second? Be right back. Got some eggs boiling. Oop! Says Kiwi. I haven't boiled an egg in so long. Guys, this is the 418th episode of this stream. Ooh versus oh whoa, says Justin. This is the 418th sound of the piano. It's called Soft Crystal. I actually kind of like this song. I mean, this sound. Lookout Shift is here and says, hi, Omni. Happy half week. Yeah, it's Wednesday today. Justin says, check in. Going to avoid the sad car trouble news, so last night was pretty great. Had a good stream of an old game. Got shouted out by a very successful streamer, so that made me feel good. Oh, congratulations. What the heck? There is a Brentwood in the Bay Area. No way. Is it sick? Is it like a really affluent area? Let me know, because I always love that. I love it when like certain like states will have an Inglewood and it's like, oh, very proper, posh, you know, fancy place to live. But then you come to Inglewood in LA and it's like fools are getting like killed by the dozen. I like to hear like of different neighborhoods with the same name when they're vastly like different. Justin says Brentwood in the Bay is not a nice area. Oh, so then yeah. This is a perfect example of that. Brentwood down here is like pretty sick. It is somewhat thought of as an area with addiction. Brentwood down here, Justin, is close to Westwood, which is where UCLA is. So it's like close to the water, but it's also close to Sawtell, Sawtell is Little Osaka. Sawtell is like a super chill Japanese neighborhood. There's like several Japanese neighborhoods. Something that's interesting. I mean, if we're just talking like Asian neighborhoods in LA, right? Because you have Filipino Town, which is, you know, obviously Filipino Town. It's where, you know, Filipino people live. But then there's also a place called Eagle Rock, which also has a huge Filipino population. So a lot of people call it just like Filipino Town too. We also have like a Chinatown, but then there's also Monterey Park, which is like bigger and more Chinese than Chinatown is, as far as just like the demographic there and like the population. And there's a Little Tokyo and there was a Little Osaka. Little Osaka got renamed to Sawtell, and so there's Little Tokyo and Sawtell and like also Carson. And they're these really like really strong, dense Japanese neighborhoods with like Japanese style architecture, Japanese restaurants, Japanese grocery stores, Japanese clothing stores, like very Japanese. Like Japanese people live there. A friend of mine, getting a little off topic, but still on the topic of Japan. Tinder, since you live in Los Angeles, I assume you've been to Little Tokyo at one point. You know those big towers that are in Little Tokyo? They're like living spaces, and they're these big towers. If you don't, or for anybody in the stream, if you go to the Little Tokyo in Los Angeles, there's a lot of living spaces there, but there's a lot of like lofts, you know, loft spaces. But I can't find Big Man Japan anywhere, Omni. Hold that thought. Kiwi, pick a number between 1 and 13. Pick a number between 1 and 20. Pick a number between 1 and 17. Pick a number between 1 and 17. That's your dep rep. There's these big towers that you can live in. You could live in, right? And you can live in them, but you could kind of only live in them if you're Japanese. And that's good. That's good. If you've recently moved to LA from Japan and you need a place to live, you can live there, or you can possibly move in there. And I think one of the ways that they keep Little Tokyo and some of the other Japanese neighborhoods so Japanese is by only really renting out to Japanese expats that are like moving to LA. Because when I first came here, and quite a few people applied dozens of times to live in that place, because it's a really small, like the apartments are really small and pretty affordable. They're super small, so you apply 1,000,000 times, and they won't even like get back to you. They won't even your application doesn't exist. But two of my friends who had moved here also filled out applications. They had moved here from Japan, filled out applications, and literally got a call back to come look at places within like 3 days, like in the same week. Like they applied, and then they were already looking at places and getting ready to move in. And I was like, oh, I think I understand. I don't even know if it's that everybody that's, Japanese that moves to LA wants to live in Little Tokyo or Little Osaka. I think that it's just easier for them to move into some of these areas than it is for other people to, and so it kind of helps like the cycle of keeping Little Osaka keeping Sawtell a little Japanese, keeping Little Tokyo more Japanese. And I think that that's like I think that's the thing that sometimes I wish I also had, like kind of like moving and having like a community that's just like, hey man, you can live here. We're not even gonna rent to the other people. Like we're just renting to whatever like you is. So like you can kind of come in here. That would be really cool. But those are both like areas like that, and that's definitely not what Brentwood's like. But Brentwood is adjacent to Sawtell, which is super, super, super like that. Yes, sir. I know of what you speak, says Tinder. Thank you. Okay, I return. I'll have 14. Kiwi chooses 14th bow tie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Oh, this is going to be weird. Actually, I almost never wear this one. I want to say I've only worn this one, Kiwi. I want to say that I've only worn this one like twice on stream. It's the one that's half and half. So half of it is, and you can even see up at the top, this was made by Dapper and Dash. This is made by Dapper and Dash. They're like a bow tie company in Arizona. They might not exist anymore, but at the time they existed in Arizona. And they would basically take recycled material. So they would take like old suits, just old anything. It was usually suits or old vests that people had like donated, and they would cut it up and they would cut the material to make bow ties out of it. And so that's why like the material was usually like a lot of like mix and match stuff. So depending on how I tie this, if I were to tie it like this, then the bow would be black, and the little stripe down the middle, like the knot would be black or white, or the bow would be black and the knot would be white. But if I do it the other way around, it would be the exact opposite. So since none of my other bow ties are like this, Kiwi, do you want the knot to be black or the knot to be white? Silver. It's actually silver. Do you want the knot to be black or the knot to be white? I'll give you that choice, Kiwi. No World update, says Pernetic for their check-in. I've been hanging around the house mostly, bought New World and started to check that out last night. You'll have to tell me how you like New World. I feel like quite a few of my friends have been playing New World, and I have no thoughts, I guess, because I haven't played it. I've only watched people play it for like maybe an hour or so, but I mean, most MMOs kind of like blend together for me. Today's the last day that we have our cat. Tomorrow morning we're taking her to be put down and end her suffering. I think we've come to terms with it and remained in denial at the same time, having plenty of little breakdowns throughout the day. It's hard. I'm really sorry to hear this, Frenetic. Yeah, you did talk about this in a previous check-in. I'm glad that you're choosing to the cat's suffering, but that's definitely like this is not good news. I'm sorry that you're losing a pet, but we're all here for you. I hope that everything. Everything like pans out with you in the future, and that if there's anything we can do that we can help. But yeah, that's really hard. I've also, I mean, I think we've all gone through that. We've all had to lose a pet, and it somehow never gets easier. I mean, it's a family member. So yeah, if you ever need anything, we're all here. We got you. Dapper and Dash. Dapper is the black color. Dash is the white color, says Cyber. Dapper and Dash was owned by two guys, Dapper and Dash. One of the guys made bow ties, and the other guy did coffee, I want to say. His whole thing was, like, making special beans. He was, like, a beanist or something, but I want to say, yeah, it was something like that. You're welcome, Pranetic, and thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. My condolences again. They haven't made a social media post since 2014-15, so I think they're donezo, says Lindsay. Are you talking about Dapper and Dash? That's sad. Whoa, that's funny! They died when I moved away! Maybe they needed me. Maybe I was important. I don't know. Kiwi, did you choose a... Oh, the white one is nice. I think the white one. You want them not to be white. Wait, I forgot how to tie a bow tie. What? Oh, okay. I forgot how to tie a bow tie for 2 seconds, and that was really scary. Ba ba da ba da ba you do 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 ba ooh. You were their bread and butter. Yeah, I was kind of like. I'm not joking, by the way. I know I'm putting on the voice as if I'm about to like do a bit, but I'm actually not joking. I was like kind of like their like dude. Like they would have events all the time, and people would come because at the time I ran a pretty like sick fashion Tumblr, and people would come to like hang out, and they would post that I was going to be there to get more people to come. That's how much I mattered, and you know why I mattered? You know, oh my god, sorry, Kiwi, I ruined it. Wait, no, I didn't. It's really hard to tie because of where the buckle is, but I'm doing my best. See? You, like, really have to, like, jimmy it. Oh my god! Guys, I ain't lost it. I thought I lost it for a second. I thought I forgot how to tie these things. The half and halves, to tie them are a little bit weirder, and I would love to talk more in depth about why that is, but, it's not going to even make sense. It's not even going to make sense unless you tie bow ties. There's this like thing where, how you like that? How you like that, Kiwi? How are we feeling? Can I do you a favor and raise my left hand? My left or stage left? My left? Like that? Like that? What do you mean? Like this? Like I'm in class, or? Okay, so you're not married. Oh! Interesting! Interesting! I was losing my mind. Why? Because you were able to read Dapper and Dash? Or like... Because all the text... Yeah, anyways. Whose stream? Yeah, for some reason I thought you were mirrored. Oh. That would be sick, by the way. Now that would be sick. If I was mirrored and I was just like, I somehow managed to like write all the names of the plants backwards and stuff like that. It would be really cool if you guys ever came over and then... No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to make that joke. That joke's only funny to me. I think I skipped something, though. I think I skipped something. Oh, no. I was just talking about my bread and butter. Oh, yeah. They used to say that I was going to be there for the events. And people would come. And, guys, people wouldn't even come because I wasn't a musician. I was in a band and I was a musician. People would come because they were like, oh, man. It's the bow tie man. Different times. A different time. Kiwi says, I like it, but it's a little crooked. So the thing is, Kiwi, it's not crooked. So there's a few different types of bow tie knots, Kiwi. there's like it's kind of like neckties, how you can have Windsor knots, but there's a few different types of little bow tie shapes. And I don't know if you noticed, but when I showed you the cloth of the bow tie, it didn't have that little like bell curve that some of the other bows have. You know, it goes like that. It was a straight line. It goes to a straight line, and it has little corners on the end, just like a ruler. When you have that, the bow tie is always going to have like a curl on one side, and it's going to go straight on the other side. I want to say it's called Dartmouth or something. But there's 3 different types. There's the bow curve like that. There's the kind that come to a point. Oh my god! I'm gonna actually untie this bow tie and talk about that for like 2 seconds, because this might be interesting to like 2 people. And for those 2 people, I'm choosing to do this. I'm choosing to take the time to do this because sometimes maybe you'll think like, oh, I think Omni lost his touch. He doesn't know how to tie a bow tie anymore. So this is your average bow tie. This is the shape of your average bow tie, right? You have like a little bulbous like oval, and it comes out into this shape, like almost like think of it like a fish. It almost looks like a fish, right? So that's your like traditional bow tie shape. And then you have this shape. This is my yarn bow tie. See how it kind of comes in? It's like an arrow. It's still kind of like a fish, but it has this little point on the end. And when you have bow ties like this, you're not going to get a symmetrical bow on each side. It's going to be kind of like this curl on one side and then a point that goes out the other side. And then the type of bow tie I just put on is just this. It's like a straight, like, it's like a wine glass or something like that, like a champagne bottle on its end. And so when you have that, it's impossible to get the same bow on each side, because on one side, you're going to have like this really like fluffy little bow like that. And then on the other side, you're just going to have like a straight brick that comes out. And those are the 3 different types of bow tie cuts. There's some other like more creative ones too, but they don't have like, they're not, I would say, traditional. Like you're not going to find them in most stores. Like you can technically cut fabric in any way you want. Mail, says Lindsay. What? Dartmouth is a college. FedEx is a truck. FedEx is a truck. But a lot of the knots for a lot of the knots and the fabric types even for bow ties are actually named after a lot of those Ivy League colleges, Cyber. And so it might not be Dartmouth, but it is definitely a college out there. I know it's not Yale. It's like several syllables. Princeton? Maybe a Princeton knot? I honestly, maybe somebody at one of those schools made it up and that's why they're named after, maybe that's why they're named after him. Is Windsor also, there's literally a school called Windsor College. I don't know if it has anything to do with like a Windsor knot, but I assume that there was just some rich white dude named Windsor and both are named after, white dude somewhere. I'm pretty sure Dartmouth is just a dude, probably. Probably. I said FedEx truck because the truck had a FedEx logo on it. What? What truck? What are you talking about? I gotta retie this. Lookout Chef says, I'm one of them then. I wear/tie my own bow ties sometimes. Me and you aren't so different. Me and you, we're not so different. Do you have a top 3 material for bow ties, says Kiwi? No. It kind of depends on the knot that I'm tying. Silk is like a good base. Like any silk bow tie I can tie pretty much. Also cotton. Silk, cotton, and yarn bow ties I really like. If it's gonna be a yarn bow tie, there's just other things like it's a contextual thing, Kiwi. I would say that's more context. But I don't know if I have a top 3. Look at that one. Look at how nice. See, when I tie it the other way, now instead of having the black as the bow, having the black as the bow and the white as the knot, I have it reversed where the black is as the knot. Sorry, this is like the reverse of what you wanted, Kiwi, but because there's more material for the silver one, it almost looks a little bit more symmetrical, although it's really tiny. It's really tiny, bow. I said Mel because there was a FedEx truck when you went to the street view. Oh, my bad. I wasn't paying attention. I was picking up the bow ties. I didn't even hear a FedEx truck out there. My bad, guys. That happened yesterday, too. Pernetic was, like, talking about a man, like, going through the garbage, and I just didn't see it because I was so, like, focused in on the chat. So that's why Cyber said FedEx. Street Cam had truck. Thanks, Leon. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, everybody. I wonder if I can get into Dartmouth. Is it too late? Is it too late? Do they have a SoundCloud course? Galaxia says, do you know the pianist Vladimir Horowitz? I've never met them. They're dead, aren't they? If you do, I'd love to hear your thoughts on his bow ties. Are they alive? Does he make bow ties? Did he just wear them? It's never too late, says Cyber. Ugh, I love this quote. It's never too late. It's too late to apologize. It's too late. Remember that one? I first discovered that song on Gossip Girl. Galaxia says he's collected a ton of them. He's an old Ukrainian dude. I guess my thing is I like all bow ties. I mean, does it mean I like all of them on me? No. But I love bow ties. I think that bow ties are sick, and I think that neckties are not. I don't particularly care for neckties. I think they're okay. But I think that a bow tie... I love that a bow tie doesn't flap in the wind. You're not having to throw it over your shoulder when you take a little whizzle pizzle. You're not, like, having to, like, clip it to your button. You don't have to worry about, like, one... You know, it's just... Neckties are really cumbersome. I love the bow tie because I love how succinct it is. It's small. It's in a spot. You tie it once. It's not going to get so messed up. You don't need to, like, pin it or put, like, those stupid little needle things you have to put through, like, a necktie knot sometimes. Do you really want to live in New Hampshire? Says Lindsay. I'll live there for a year. I could do it for a year. I could do it for a year and just do what I did last time and drop out of college. Galaxia says, I was always told bow ties were for performers. Interesting. Galaxius. There's so many things in my head right now. Food gets on your shirt instead of your tie, says Lookout Shift. Are neckties just big bibs? Are they just classy bibs? Because if that's the case, yeah, I guess I'm missing out on the bibdom of neckties. I mean, I do spill food on my shirt, though. So what I was going to say about Dapper and Dash and also about bow ties and what they're for and who wears them is, like, I can remember liking bow ties. And the reason I liked bow ties, honestly, guys, one of the reasons I like bow ties is because of Gossip Girl. There was a character that just wore a lot of them, and that was when I was like, it would be really cool to have a collection of bow ties. But even before then, it was because I saw a bow tie untied. I think there was like a wedding scene in a movie where there was a guy that was like maybe getting ready to go to the wedding, and he just looked like this. Like, ignore that I have an actual bow tie on. It looked like this. And I remember looking at the thing that was around his neck, and I was like, what is that? Like, what is that thing? It reminded me of, like, the flight attendants that have, the tie, and it's, like, sitting there. And I was like, what even is that? And I remember somebody being like, that's a bow tie. And me just being like, there's no way. There's no way that funky, like, wiggly thing becomes, like, a perfect, nice, symmetrical bow. I just didn't get it. I didn't get it. It's a Jewish thing. What's that thing called? The thing the rabbis wear on their shoulders? I don't know what that thing's called. But I know what you're talking about, the really long thing. Looks like a scarf, kind of. I just didn't know what it was. And I think when I learned what it was and that could become a boat, like, I was just really fascinated with it. Because it seemed like such a complicated knot. And the fact that somebody could do that... Because I used to just think that bow ties were, like, you know, the fake ones that people buy in, like, Walmart, where it's just a little bow that you, like, wrap around or you clip it on. And when I learned that people could just tie bow ties and they sold them like that, I was like, I need to get in on this. And so I really liked bow ties for that reason. And a stole is what it's called. A stole. Thanks, Liana. I think I started wearing bow ties a lot. Like I was wearing button ups and bow ties. Also, H&M like came to Arizona that year. This is a long time ago. Like H&M didn't exist there yet, and like the first one opened, and everybody was going wild. And I remember walking into H&M, and I was like, like, oh my god, it's a button up, $14. But I have $14. I was so used to button ups being like, like walking into like a real store, like a Dillard's or something like that, or a Macy's, and seeing a button up and being like, that, I can't afford that. But like $14, I was like, I have that. And so suddenly I could like put on a button up, and the bow tie was kind of expensive, but like I put on a bow tie and I had like fitted pants, and I was looking like I had money when I didn't. I mean, in all actuality, people can tell the difference between like an H&M button up and like a Barney's button up. But to me, I couldn't. I was like, I'm wearing like a classier fit. I like this. And so I started doing that, and people didn't get it, and people didn't like it for a long time. And then the hipster thing happened, where hipsters were everywhere. And I got like retroactively added to a group of people that I wasn't really a part of. They kind of existed after me, but people would look at me and look at hipsters, and they're like, I think he's one of them. And so suddenly I started getting like a lot of opportunities. Like I got the Dapper and Dash thing where they were like giving me free bow ties. Like suddenly my Tumblr got really big because everybody thought bow ties were cool all of a sudden. Everybody was like, oh, that's sick. Like that happened. And I feel like even though like that hipster, as far as like nationwide thing, the hipster thing kind of died. Like hipsters still exist in like little pockets, but even though it kind of went away, I think about that a lot. I think about how I had kind of nothing to do with those people. But just by happenstance, just by like coincidence, they happened to be into some of the things I was into. Like most of hipster culture, if I can even use that term, most of hipster culture didn't actually encompass the things that I personally cared about. But at a glance, seeing somebody in a button-up with like tweed suspenders and a bow tie and like boat shoes, people were like, oh, he's a hipster, I get it. And like big glasses, people were like, oh, he's a hipster. And so I just kind of like happily fell backwards into that. I mean, I wasn't going to argue. I was like, these people seem to like me for some reason. Galaxia says, do you have any voicings or progressions that you're really into right now? Sorry if it's a weird question. That's not a weird question at all. I usually will have like pocket progressions, like pocket chord progressions that I really like, but I don't really know what to do with yet. I like this one. Let me see if I can remember it. I like, it's like, and then ba-da-da-da. I like that one. I'll play it in piano, so it's a little bit more clear what I'm doing, but I really like chord progressions like that. I also had one that I was doing Friday on the Friday stream. I added it to a song, and I wish I could remember it. I'll have to reopen it. But I was making a song. Kit chose a BPM for a song and named it Left Shoe or Left Foot. And I think it was Left Shoe. And I had a progression for it that was like really nice. And I can't for the life of me remember what it was now in this moment, and it's really annoying. But like progression like that, this one also. Like that, just kind of like keep going, if that makes sense. Like instead of just having like the 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 like simple like 4 progression loop, I like having a progression that like unlocks a second path, like branching paths, you know. I kind of have that for home, where it's like this is one path, the branching path is... And it kind of ends up in a different place. I love it when chord progressions do that. Repeat the same thing twice, and then kind of start it a third time, but then just when it's getting ready to go to the chord progression you're expecting, it kind of goes into a slightly different one. And anyways, our bow ties cool, says Cyber. I thought you elected to have them in your wardrobe as a response to fashion trends and how you felt you need to buck traditional looks. What was the traditional look of the time? I guess a necktie. But I mean, for me, when I started wearing bow ties, I was like between high school and college, like around that time, or I was in high school. I think just wearing like jeans and like oh my god, what were people wearing actually? What were like people that were like mattered wearing? Girls were wearing blue jeans. Everybody was wearing blue jeans. Girls were wearing jeans and like those weird shirts that look like they're two shirts but they're not. It like looks like you're wearing a shirt under a shirt, but it's really like a blouse that has layers. Like that was kind of big. Girls were wearing cardigans. You weren't seeing a lot of dudes in cardigans yet. At least not where I was. That wasn't a thing where I was. It was so not a thing where I was that I thought that when I saw a cardigan, I think it was in Urban Outfitters for the first time, in like the men's section, I was like, oh, finally. Yes, for me, yes. Galaxia says, I love it when a progression doesn't start on the tonic. Feels like jumping into a story halfway through, and then you get the context. I like this for everything. I like being dropped in. What is it called? Media Res. The song opened Media Res halfway through a chord progression. Ayo. Ayope, says GG. Ayope Omniboy. They spell it with a Y. It's okay. I have super awesome news. The antibiotics and steroids are working and I'm starting to feel like myself again. And super huggies to you and your awesome community for the love and support. Super huggies to you all. Thank you for the follow, Little Lee222. And also, I'm glad to hear that you're feeling a little bit better, GG. That's really good. That's really good. I hope the chest, I mean, you got a new lease on life, baby. I hate Bleaches here. It says, I got brutalized for wearing cardigans and V-necks in high school. LOL. A few years later, it became normal. Preach, I hate Bleach. Honestly, like, half of the things that I got made fun of for ended up becoming cool, and now we're, like, uncool again. So, whatever. I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, I'm never going to try anymore. I'm never going to try. Everybody bullied me because my freaking pants, I had high-water pants, and I had high-water pants because I was wearing hand-me-down clothes, so all of my pants, like, went to my shins. People made fun of me. High waters, high waters, ha ha, your family's broke, ha ha, you need pants that fit. Mad baggy, too. Ha, your pants mad baggy, we're wearing fitted pants now. Alright, I'm like, wearing fitted pants. Oh, we cuff them now, man, we're trying to show the socks. I'm like, why are you showing people your socks? Why are you showing people your socks? Shouldn't the pants go down to the shoes? You were making fun of me because my pants were riding up, and now you're buying pants that fit and you're cuffing them up. They're like, the cuff's cool though. You were wearing high waters. We're about cuffing now. Then they're wearing baggy pants again. And now I'm looking at kids that are wearing baggy pants. They're not even cuffing them. They're wearing baggy pants that come up really high, and I can see their sock. I can even see a little bit of the skin. I'm like, nothing matters. Everything's cool until it isn't. And then it's cool again. Like I said, V-necks had a hold on my high school. Now I can't wear them. V-necks never felt good to me when I wore them. It always felt too revealing. As silly as that sounds, crew necks were fine. Whenever I put on a V-neck, I felt like too much of my body was on display. Wow. Your drip is immaculate, for your information, says, I hate bleach. Thank you. I appreciate that. I thank Kiwi for half of it. Kiwi did the bow tie. I saw a lot of fedoras, says Kiwi. I definitely had one of those straw fedoras. Like the tiny ones that you could get from like basically any store back then. And I would wear it like on the back of my head like a freaking, you know, like exactly like what you think I looked like. Yeah. I'm like super picky about necklines, says Lindsay. I used to not like showing. Well, English is a challenge too. I do this in foreign languages. I have to like think really hard before I like form sentences sometimes, and I have to do the same thing in English. I used to not like showing my collarbone. I had a really big thing. There's even some shirts in my closet right now that have just too big of a neckline. Like It's a little big, and I kind of don't like that my collarbone's like out there. Feels weird. I have chest hair, says Cyber. So naughty, says Cyber. I have chest hair, so Phoenix can be weird. I don't have chest hair, but I don't know. Sometimes just the collarbone feels like it should be hidden. I feel like people should have to pay for that. Lindsay says, also, let me just say, the super short sleeves on so many women's shirts should be a war crime. Yeah, it really cuts into the armpits, doesn't it? Can't be good. Can't be good. I have a couple of girls' shirts that I used to wear, and I used to constantly be doing this all day. Like, sometimes I would just be, like, pulling at them and trying, like, pulling it down and then trying to pin it down with, like, my arm. And I'd go around walking like this like an idiot. An idiot. That Clavy says, Liano. I never wore V-necks. I was too self-conscious, but now I enjoy wearing V-neck dresses a lot, says Kiwi. We're talking about self-conscious. The conscious of oneself. Liana said clav, and now I like want to play a clav sound, but I honestly forgot where all my clav sounds are. So, I guess... screw me. Never mind. There it is. Yeah. I don't want man boobs. I don't want man boobs either, says Cyber. I don't want to talk about my boobs. I've talked about my boobs way too much in this stream. But they haven't worked out much this week, so they're going away. I love it when they're here. I've talked about that. I love getting this. See, I'm talking about them now. I want to talk about something else.
Time to do the news. I think it's time to do the news. It's definitely time to do the news. Do
transition song. Every time I hear it, I think it's gonna get old. I think it's just this chord progression is so... It's such an easy listening. It's a good stinger bump. Jesse says I popped back at the weirdest time. I'm sorry, but welcome back, Jesse. Welcome. I like the tactile sound of you pressing the keys. Afro Addy... We were just talking about self-consciousness. I used to be self-conscious about that because, like, you know, when I play on Fridays, you guys can't hear any of the tactile sounds. You guys can't hear that. And I want at risk of annoying you guys, is I want the Monday through Thursday stream to be as immersive as possible, and that you hear what I hear. I hear my fingers touching the keys, so you guys get to hear it. I hear the police sirens outside, so you guys hear it. I hear a fly buzzing around, so you guys hear it. I want it to be like you guys are in this bedroom. Now, does that mean that I want the sound to be crappy? No. So I try to, like, fix things here and there, but I do want it to be sonically more immersive than just this, like, super sterile thing. Because I have headphones. Like, you guys have seen me with my headphones. I could technically plug my keyboard into a mixer, into my laptop, and, like, run all the sounds super clean, and then just wear headphones so I can hear all the alerts and everything like that. But I, like, don't really want that vibe for this stream, because I feel like the sound of my room and the sound of the neighborhood is actually kind of nice and contributes to the stream. However, on Friday, one of the main reasons that I go for a more sterile, like you guys are getting like really clean sound on Fridays is because one, it's in the evening, and two, it's way more noisy. Like this is just piano and me talking as far as the noises that I'm making. But on Fridays, there's like synthesizers and there's drums going, and I just don't really want my neighbors to have to deal with like 6 hours of like that, you know? And so that's why I opt for having the headphones and a more quiet stream on Fridays, just in case somebody didn't get that. But thank you, Aphrodite, for saying that. I like the tactile sound of the keys a lot. I like it when I'm listening to a recording, like when somebody's done a recording in like a jazz album or a hip hop album, whatever, and they've just mic'd an upright piano. They didn't plug anything in. They just mic'd an upright piano, and you can hear like the keys. You can hear the thudding of the keys. You can maybe even hear like the like squeak of like a piano bench. I love that stuff. That like really gets me. But some people don't like it, so I try to be as aware of it as possible, whether or not I actually end up changing it. My new work software has a section called Omnichannel, says 604. Is for me. Lindsay says, okay, I thought I might have been tripping, but there is a weird dot of light that traveled across your keyboard from the right side. And I clicked to check it. A dot of light? Like, it happened really fast or really slowly? Because it could have been just like the glare off of something. There's a lot of sun happening here. So the sound is actually being output through the keyboard and your mic is picking it up, says Galaxius. Yes. All of the sound from the stream is being picked up by one mic. So it's just picking up the sound of my room. One of the things that's nice, Omni is haunted, always has been, always will be, Sareb. I think that the mornings also help. I'm excluding Tuesday because Tuesday is trash day, but the mornings also help because the mornings in my neighborhood are kind of quiet. Like, there's not really a lot going on typically in the mornings in my neighborhood. So it's like you guys might hear like birds chirping, or you might hear, you know, some people talking outside, but it's not like I'm in like the city center, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Aphrodite says, like Phasmophobia. Yes, I'm haunted just like Phasmophobia. Cyber says, I tried to get him to use line out keyboard, but this has its own nice vibe. Yeah. Line out keyboard, definitely for Friday streams, though. Absolutely for Friday streams. Guys, I mean, I make music all the time, and my neighbors know this, and they're really cool with this. But I do think, like, playing piano and producing, I mean, some of you guys get it, but some of you guys may not. Playing piano and producing are two very different things. Like, me playing, like a few chords, and then me, like, having like drums and like synth work and like all of that stuff going for hours nonstop. And then things like the raid alert and all those alerts, stuff like that going off. It might be a little much for my neighbors for my neighbors to have to do, you know, as soon as they get home from work on Fridays. So, yes. It's like a live show. Indeed, it's just like a live show. Welcome to the Coffee Bean, or whatever the heck I would be playing at this point. He's washed. 604 says, oh, I was slacking as truck cameraman. What? What are you talking about? Truck cameraman. What are you talking about? I was gonna say something. We are technically in the news. I'm gonna get on the Rex. Wait, what is today's rec? Uh-oh. I'm not checking what today's rec is. I remember what it is. It's technically Cybe, but it's Bubble Beat by Cybe, but I'm just adding it to the playlist because I don't think I did. That's what I'm doing right now, which, you know, is equally as unprepared. But I'm going to get to the rec in a second. Wow, I have 7% battery. It feels good, man. It feels so good. It feels so good. I'm going to talk about that for like 5 minutes, and then we're going to do the song recs, I promise. I used to literally, guys, and some of you guys maybe still might be like this, but I used to get anxiety if my phone had low battery. Like, if I looked at my phone, and I'm not even talking low, I'm talking like 30%. Like, if my phone had 30%, I'd be like, I gotta get home. I don't know. Does somebody have a charger? I would like carry around like a one of those like portable like power banks because I just hated for my phone to have low battery. And I think it had a lot to do with a lot of things that I've worked on recently. And now I've gotten to the point where I have the exact opposite reaction. Like when I look at my phone and it has like 5%, it's got 6%, it's got 2%. I feel so good and I let it die. I don't even plug it in. I just like sit it there and I like to watch it like literally be like, help, help. And then it dies and the screen goes off. It's liberating. I love that feeling. I love that. My laptop, on the other hand, I still get kind of stressed out when that's got a low battery. Also, Omni, if you like the piano bench creaks and tactile noises, I have a song to share. Oh, word up, Lindsay. Word up, Lindsay. I had three portables on me, says Afro Addy. Three portables. Laptop, phone, and what? Laptop, phone, and what? Laptop, phone, and what? Switch? Does that count? Neighbor just hate me because I have dogs, and she hates dogs. Shake my head. I have been fortunate to have never had like true neighbor horrors, you know, like a neighbor that hated me or a neighbor I hated. I've had neighbors that were like awkward or standoffish for sure, but I've never had a neighbor that complain about me, or I've never had to like complain about a neighbor, like make a real complaint, like go and knock on their door and be like, hey, can you stop this? It smells like a dead body. Did you kill someone? Cyber says, William Shatner becomes oldest person to go to space rocket. Just to go to the space rocket or to go to space in a rocket? There's a picture of Jeff Bezos standing next to him and he looks like an evil villain. Why is William Shatner... Oh, because Star Trek? I'm stupid. I mean, obviously because of Star Trek. Today's song recommendation is Bubble Beat by Saib. Saib? Saiba! Kaiba! Anyways, I'm recommending this song to you guys for 3 reasons. Because publicity, says Umbe. Amen. Amen. Saiba! Sorry. Only funny to me. Only funny to me. Clip that for my own mental bank. Okay. This is Bubble Beat by Saib. I posted the picture in media on Discord. Thank you. I'm recommending this song to you guys for 3 reasons. This is going to be a really fast one. Because we had a few songs like this last season, but I know that there's new people this season. So what I'm trying to do is, while I'm going to some new places this season musically, I'm also trying to refeature some of the stuff that I did last season, because I'm not expecting any of the new people to the stream to go listen to, you know, however many songs there are on the Morning Rex Season 3 playlist. So, that being said, I'm recommending this song to you guys for 3 reasons. First of all, it's a really good song. Second reason why I'm recommending you this song is because Saib, I actually don't know how to pronounce it. I've been saying Saib, but it might be Saib. Saib? I'm going to say Saib. Second reason I'm recommending this song to you guys is because Saib is a beat maker. Uses an SP404, which actually, they're making a new SP404 if anybody is interested in that. I'll get to that later. He makes beats. And so a lot of his music is an accompaniment of samples, you know, and a combination of samples, a blending of samples. And one of the interesting reasons why I chose this song of a lot of his other work is because this song, he just takes another song and it's sampled and he's got a beat going under it. But an interesting thing about the way the beat and the song is made is that a lot of times when we think about sampling songs, there's a lot of different ways to sample songs, right? Like if you make future funk, you're probably going to sample some city pop music. Like if you make a lo-fi hip hop, you're probably going to sample some old jazz tunes. This is kind of par for the course when it comes to a lot of those sample-based genres. But a lot of times when people are thinking about using the sample and then maybe adding drums to it, because usually when you're making like hip hop or beat-oriented samples, you want the beat to be the stronger part of the track. And if you're sampling an old bossa nova song, an old jazz song, any of these older works that are more focused on like live instruments, you're not going to get drums that hit as hard as modern drums are going to hit. So usually when people are making future funk and they're sampling an old city pop record, they will add modern drums so that it has this kind of modern kick and this modern hit, this modern impact to it, while it still has a lot of the harmony and straight up just song of yesterday. And so this song is using an older jazz song as the bass for the sample, but it's also using much more modern drums. It's using modern hip-hop drums. A lot of lo-fi hip-hop, it gets the word hip-hop in its genre name because the drums and the actual beat part of it that isn't the sample comes from modern day hip hop drums. Hey, what's up? Thank you for the hollow. Hey, keep the faith. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. And that's where the lo-fi hip hop genre comes from, because they're using hip hop drums for that harder, more modern impact. The third reason why I want you guys to listen to this song is because also a thing that's happening here, and I talk about this a lot on the stream, on Friday streams where I'm doing my production. I also talk about this quite a bit in these song breakdowns, especially last season. Last season it came up quite a bit, but this is kind of a refresher course just for the past, because I'm probably not going to be featuring too much of these like super straightforward lo-fi hip-hop sample-based songs this season as I did last season. But another thing that is par for the course in that genre is side chaining. A lot of times when we're dealing with sound, we are also dealing with a finite space. Think about if you had a portrait, right? You have like a portrait and you're going to draw a picture, or you're going to take a picture or something like that. If you want to fit more things in this drawing, you're going to have to draw smaller, right? Like if you're just drawing a man's face, you can make it as big as the entire portrait, right? You can like if I have like a zoom in thing, like look at this, like I can zoom in and my face is fine. I can also fit a little bit of Firo in it. I can fit a little bit of Zia in it, but it's like if I want to fit Viv, if I want to fit Agnes, if I want to fit the keyboard, I'm going to have to not widen the view. That's one of the common misconceptions. You can't actually, this square, I can't make this bigger. What I can, though, is I can make myself smaller. So I'm appearing smaller in this view than I am in this view. The actual border of the image that you guys are looking at is not getting bigger. I'm getting smaller. Your phone doesn't grow. The image is shrinking. And so the same thing happens in music, guys. You have a finite space for sound. You can't make more space, but you can shrink the sounds to fit in more sounds. You can make the sounds quieter. If you have 5 people singing and it's redlining, there's too much, you can't add extra space so that you can add 6 singers or 10 singers, but you can make all of the 10 singers a little bit quieter so that combined they have the same velocity or volume as one person. They kind of come together that way. You shrink things in order to create more space. Now, in music, a lot of times, you guys have seen it firsthand when I make music on Fridays. Sometimes I'll have 10, 20, 30, 50 different things happening in a song at the same time. I'll be singing, I'll have a harmony of myself singing, birds will be chirping, dogs will be barking, drums will be drumming. Like there's a lot of stuff happening. And they're already quiet. I've already turned them down so much, it's just harder to make more space. They're clashing with each other. So there's this thing in production called sidechain compression. Now, if you're familiar with it, you're familiar with it. If you're not familiar with it, it might just sound like a lot of gibberish. And I can do quite a few different examples of it this Friday if you want to see a visual and audio example of it. But if you don't, and you just want this verbal explanation of what it is what you're doing is you're ducking sound. When I say ducking sound, imagine literally ducking something, making it smaller so that something else can exist in that space. A lot of times in sound and in songs, people think that you have your array of instruments and they have a set volume and they have to exist together. But you can actually set it, guys, electronically so that certain instruments will react to another instrument. I can set it so that my voice will react to a guitar, so that I can talk and talk, but anytime somebody hits a chord on the guitar, my voice will get quieter to allow room for the guitar. It's a really neat trick that a lot of people have been using both with hardware and software for many years in music to kind of create space. I've talked about it in terms of cell phones. If you think about cell phones, it happens a lot. If you think about most microphones, it happens a lot. They will do a certain ducking and compression of audio in order to allow certain sounds to bleed through while others do not. A really good way to practice this is if you're talking to somebody who's in a very loud environment. If that person stops talking, the mic in their phone is going to be doing extra work to pick up sound. It's trying to pull in sound, so it'll be pulling in birds chirping and cars driving in the background. But the second the person starts talking into the mic, all of that sound ducks into the background because it's picking up the primary source. It wants the voice. Now, I said that very long explanation to describe what's happening in this song. The kick in this song is sidechaining the rest of the sample. So when you hear the sample, the song that's playing, when the kick comes in, the song will kind of dip out of the way to create some space for those drums, so that the drums can still have their big impact on the song without being overcrowded by the song and the sample itself. So again, the song that I'm recommending to you guys today is Bubble Beat by Saib, and the 3 reasons I'm recommending it is 1, it's a very good song. 2, the second reason that I'm recommending this song to you guys today is because it's a good example of an old sample being used, like an old like jazzy sample being used and combined with modern hip-hop drums. So you have kind of like a cross combination of both times and genres that you're combining here. And the third reason why I'm recommending this song to you guys today is because it's a pretty basic and easy to understand example of sidechain compression. And that's that. Galaxia says the SP404 is goated. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the SP404 because I try my best to make this stream approachable and enjoyable to people who aren't musicians without just going off on like the things that I know and care about in music. But you're absolutely right, Galaxius. The SPF 404, or the SPF, that's funny. The SP404 is goated, and they're coming out with a new one that finally has a very specific, like I don't have an SP404 because I would have had to have 2 pieces of gear to do the thing that I want to do for my live show. And the new SP404 can now do the thing that the 2 pieces of gear would have to do. So the next time I go out on tour, like, I'm 1000% buying this new SP404. Like, I don't care how much this thing costs. Like, I'll find a way to afford this thing because it looks wild. Like, Roland killed this. I love you, Mama Ha. You're my mom forever, but Roland, yikes, that SP404 is nice. Aphrodite says, I like that explanation. I feel like I learned a thing, says Aphrodite. Good. Honestly, good. By me, says Cyber. Yes. Go listen to Bumblebee by Side. But yeah, that's the goal. Honestly, that's the goal of the stream. I know it's not easy all the time, guys. It's a thing that is a challenge, and I try to do it as often as I can. There are certain things about music that I love to talk about. All of us can, and I'm gonna end the stream with this, but a lot of us can relate to being really into a thing. Maybe the thing, hello, is it Bardic Perspiration? Bardic Perspiration, thank you for the follow, appreciate you. I hope you're having a good Wednesday. How is your Wednesday, by the way? How is it going so far? Do you like any of the Native Instruments hardware? I've actually never used any Native Instruments hardware, only software, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Galaxius. However, I will say this. We're all into a lot of things, right? Maybe you're into anime. Maybe you're into music. Maybe you're into NASCAR. Maybe you're into WWE. I don't know. We all have a thing that not only are we into, but we know a lot about, and we like kind of immersing ourselves and indulging in that thing. I think that it's important in everyone's life, yours and mine, to find your people, right? Like if you are a musician, find people that live and breathe music. If you are a filmmaker, find directors and screenwriters that like, they will die if they can't make the thing. If you're really into sports, find the people that are painting their face and they got their rituals and they're like tapping like a big kettle of like, I don't know, pancake batter because they're like, I have to do this or else Tim Tebow isn't going to do this. Like find those people that like need the thing because those are the people that are going to understand you and make you feel okay. They're going to be the people that are going to make you realize like, oh, it's actually okay. I can go into this thing. One of like the worst things about living in Arizona for me is I didn't have those people. I was like living and breathing music and I was surrounded by a lot of people going like, that's really weird, man. Or like, that's weird that you can do that. Oh, that's cool, man. That's like cool, but man, I can never do that. And while that can sometimes be like validating in its own way to have like a bunch of people come up to you and be like, I don't know, you do that, man. That's weird science stuff. I don't know, man. That'd be weird. Like cutting people open, being a surgeon. Ugh, I don't know. Ugh, blood makes me squeamish. While it's cool, sometimes having people say things like that to you can be nice. It can be validating because it's like, oh, I am kind of doing a thing. But I promise you, it is a huge, huge, huge boon to your existence to surround yourself with people that understand the thing that you're doing. Because you're going to be able to go beneath the surface. and dig deeper into your own interests. Obviously, like if you're really, really into video games on like a core like development level, but you only hang out with, people who, I don't know, are into sports, they're going to understand some of what you're talking about, but you're never going to be able to like really go deep in on your passion and stuff because there's not going to be people around you that can support that thing. But I also think it's important to keep people around you also who don't get it at all, because it can help like level you a little bit. Sometimes I'll get so deep into artist mode and music mode that I forget that I'm also a human being and I like need to eat and sleep. And sometimes I'll be talking to like my real like artist friends and they're like, yeah, man, I didn't eat today either. And it's like 7 p.m. and I'm like, yeah, this is normal, but it's not super normal. Maybe you should eat. Maybe working through like every meal isn't the best decision. So I think if there's any advice I can give to anybody, keep the people around you that understand what you're going through. If you're like any type of artist, if you're any type of creative, if you're whatever. And for a lot of people, college will do this for you. For some people, it's like, I really want to do X thing. And when I went to college, I met a lot of like-minded people. And if that's the case, super dope. Like, do that thing. But that's my thing. That's what I'm ending today's stream on. Find the people who get you and understand you and thrive with those people and realize yourself. But also, don't abandon just anybody who's got a different worldview than you do, because it can turn you into a little bit of a monster. Anyways, all about that balance, baby, says Lindsay. Absolutely. I feel like it's an ongoing battle. The second you stop looking at it, it's a spinning plate, baby. The second you stop actually actively looking at balance is when the imbalance comes. Bardic Perspiration says, day's alright, night better. Night's better, I agree. Only been here 2 minutes, but can already tell this is for me. Aw. Well, I wish you had came a little bit earlier. We're towards the end now, but I do this every weekday morning at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're a little bit over today, about 30 minutes over. But and then on Fridays we do a production stream, Bardic Perspiration. I hope to see you in a future one. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for being so positive and supportive, guys. I'm gonna play the Morning Medley theme song now, while you guys talk about who we're going to raid. Because we are raiding. Whoa! Thanks, Tinder! You see that, Bardic? I'm down to raid into helpful cases. Let's give hope the hope. He read this more than once before. This is true. Whoa! Thanks for the bits. Yeah, let's read. Aww, thanks for the bits, Bardic. I really do appreciate it. And appreciate you being here. Tomorrow, oh my god, guys, tomorrow, just before we end, that's the last bit of news. Tomorrow is the new segment, so There is a new segment tomorrow. Here's me hoping, here's me putting energy into my brain that it will go off okay. It'll go off without a hitch and it won't crash the stream or something. It's nothing wild. It's nothing crazy. It's just, it's the first time. So, there's a new segment tomorrow. Thank you, Galaxius, for the sub. I appreciate you so much for being here. Whoa, did that push us into a hype train? We need to raid. We need to raid out. We need to raid out. Are we taking the hype train into a raid? Last minute sub to you. I appreciate that. I won't be here for the new segment, says Pernetic. We'll be at the vet. I hope it goes well. I hope it goes well also, Pernetic. And I mean, I'm sure you'll be here for a different one. Morning Medley isn't going anywhere. We appreciate you for being here as much as you are, Pernetic, honestly. I can't leave while a hype train is here. Oh. Somebody let me know when you start the raid. No, I can't play anymore because I played the theme. I played the theme. It's over. It's over. The stream is over. We're in a hype train, though, and I do feel bad for not playing something. I can play this. Here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do. It was so good. I ended it. It was so good. It was great. I just keep playing the theme. This is the 418th sound called Soft Crystal. Also, did anybody notice that the theme song from Season 3 to Season 4 changed? Did you even notice? Did you even notice? I'm turning into my mom. What did I change? What's different? Do you even notice anything's different? We all did. I don't know. Cyber, don't speak for everybody. I'm sure somebody's like, what are you talking about? The chimes. People didn't even know that the freaking dump truck moved during Trash Tuesday. And that was from last season. I was doing that in last season. You added some flourishes, right? It says Lindsay. No, I changed the so the old one the old one went remember that? That's how the last one went. The old one was and this one is no. So it goes to a different key. It goes to a different key twice. The other one just moved up once, kind of like Double Lutz does, and this one moves up twice. It doesn't matter. It goes higher, right? Says Liana. Yeah, it goes higher. There's a call and answer now, right? There's just that changed. And it sucks because I've been playing the new version so much that I forgot how the old one did. It is longer. See, I've forgotten it. This is so funny. And then the new one is. Omni is like, witness me, all caps. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Because I know you guys don't notice when some things change. When I did the trash can thing and people didn't notice the trash truck didn't change, I was hurt, guys. My heart was broken. Thanks, Kiwi, for the bits. My heart was broken. My heart was broken because it took me an embarrassingly long time to figure out how to make the truck do that. To just figure out how to make it to do this. Because I don't know what I'm doing. That's why that took so long for me to figure out how to do. And so, yeah, people didn't miss it. You missed the train. The hype train is long gone. Better luck next time. Thanks for the bits, Kiwi. I appreciate it. Train complete. I definitely don't know now how to do that, and I appreciate the details, says Pernetic. Aww. Wait, what happened? Oh, we're rating hopeful. Okay, cool. We appreciate your suffering, Omni. Thanks, Tinder. I'm mostly joking. I mean, I really don't care. But I just, when I was playing the theme just now, I thought about the old theme, and I was like, oh, I wonder if people even noticed that I did change the way the theme was performed. Because I did. Hello, Tori Cat. Oh my god, I love hopeful cases. Oh, well, you're going to love this rate then. Thank you, everybody, for being respectful to me and polite to each other. I do appreciate you guys. Cyber saying senpai unironically in the stream. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. elbow, everybody. Christ. I'm so sad I couldn't join earlier. It's okay. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow.